The Dell UltraSharp Webcam can capture excellent 4K video for calls, streams, and recordings, but you need a separate microphone to get the most out of it. Chances are your laptop's built-in webcam isn't particularly sharp, and its microphone isn't all that clear. When shopping for a new webcam, it makes sense to expect both superlative image and audio quality, but many of the models we test tend to skimp on sound. Some, like the $129.99 Poly Studio P5, offer surprisingly clear audio, but they're few and far between. The 4K Dell UltraSharp goes radically in the other direction, as it focuses entirely on video, with no microphone at all. That might seem like a big omission for $199.99 webcam, but there's logic to it. You get better sound from a dedicated headset or a USB microphone than you do from a webcam, so if you're serious about video chat, streaming, or recording clarity, you'll want to buy these devices a la carte for the best of both worlds. Dell's emphasis on picture pays off, with the UltraSharp capturing the best picture we've seen to date, making it a solid webcam for serious streamers. The UltraSharp is one of the slickest webcams we've seen yet, with a 3.54 by 1.65 inch LW cylindrical design in gunmetal aluminum. One end of the cylinder holds the lens, along with an indicator light and an IR sensor for Windows Hello and presence detection. The other end is completely flat. The connections for the USB-C cable and the mount are both on the underside of the cylinder. A simple, flat metal disc serves as a privacy cover, attaching magnetically to the lens end when you want to cover it, and magnetically to the opposite end for storage when you don't need it. It's a simple, elegant solution that doesn't disrupt the overall aesthetic. The magnetic connections extend beyond the lens cap. The rectangular cutout for the webcam's mount on the underside of the body is also magnetic, quickly attaching to the included monitor clip or table, tripod mount. Both mounts are similarly minimalist. The monitor mount is a simple, flat clip that unfolds to brace against the back of your monitor or laptop, with a thin lip to get leverage on the top edge. The joint is just stiff enough to feel secure once you get it aligned, and a magnetic insert that connects to the webcam can tilt up and down. You can adjust the webcam's angle left or right on the clip, though it will always point perpendicular to the screen. The table mount is a tiny stand with a flat, square base for setting on a table, and a screw hole on the bottom for attaching to a tripod. Curiously, it doesn't tilt up or down, so you'll have to mind the height of the surface you're setting it on. The UltraSharp webcam can capture 4K video, 3840 by 2160 resolution, at 24 or 30 frames per second, or 1080p or 720p video at 24, 30, or 60 frames per second. Natively, the lens has a 90-degree field of view, but can be set to 65 or 78 degrees. The camera features autofocus, auto white balance, and face tracking auto framing that can follow your face and digitally zoom to keep it centered in the frame. Unlike most consumer webcams, the UltraSharp doesn't have a microphone at all. This means that the camera cannot capture audio on its own, and must rely on a separate audio device like your laptop's built-in microphone, a USB microphone, or a headset. This isn't a huge loss, as most webcam microphones are mediocre at best, and we generally recommend using a headset or microphone for the best sound quality on video calls, streams, and recordings. That said, the aforementioned Poly Studio P5 and the $169.99 Logitech StreamCam both prove that solid audio from a webcam is possible, in packages that cost less than the UltraSharp. The blandly named Dell Peripheral Manager software lets you tweak the UltraSharp settings and update its firmware. It allows you to set the recording resolution and frame rate, switch focus and white balance modes between automatic and slider-adjusted manual settings, toggle the AI auto-framing feature that follows your face, enable high dynamic range, HDR, video capture, and prioritize either exposure or frame rate during capture. The software also has a very simple video capture tool if you want to take quick clips. Under the right conditions, Dell's UltraSharp Webcam offers the best image quality we've seen from a consumer webcam. What those conditions are, however, might surprise you. Basically, you need a fill light, or a ring light, to get the best performance out of this camera. The above shot is taken from a 4K recording under the full lights of my bedroom. It looks pretty good, comparable with the $99.99 Razer Kaio in terms of showing the fine details of my hair and stubble. However, with the overhead lights behind me, the exposure and focus are drawn more toward the background than my face. In fact, fine details on my shelves are even clearer than they are on my face. I can manually adjust focus with the Dell Peripheral Manager software, but I can't change how the auto exposure works. This next shot shows how the camera performs under low light, with my overhead lights turned off and my face illuminated only by my monitor. My face is certainly the center of attention, with exposure and focus locking on it during the test recording. It's also quite clear with only monitor light on it. The entire frame is grainy, though, which softens fine details on my face and gives the background a static-like noise. The UltraSharp performs best with the overhead lights turned off, but a fill light, in this case a cheap LED daylight lamp, shining directly on my face. This keeps the exposure and focus locked directly on my face, with noise kept to a minimum. It's an excellent picture, and shows just how good the UltraSharp's video can look. You just need to think about how you're lit, and make sure your face is illuminated and that you aren't getting backlit by stronger lights. Of course, you should consider ambient lighting regardless of the camera you use, but the UltraSharp really demonstrates just how stark the difference can be. It still doesn't reach the quality of a very good digital camera or smartphone tethered to your computer, but with some preparation, it can come close. The Dell UltraSharp Webcam can capture excellent video, but you need to know exactly what you're getting into. There's no microphone, so you will probably want a USB mic or headset to capture your voice. Of course, you can also use your laptop's built-in mic, but it probably doesn't sound so hot. You also need to be particularly careful with lighting, and probably get some form of direct illumination, like a ring light, for the best results. If you don't mind jumping through these hoops, the UltraSharp offers the best picture we've seen from a consumer webcam. If you don't want to go through all of that, or you want to spend less, the Poly Studio P5 remains our top pick. For $70 less than the UltraSharp, it has a surprisingly good microphone, and while its image quality isn't nearly as sharp, it's much less touchy with exposure and can capture solid video in most lighting conditions.